content, it's still king. Today we can produce movie that look like a US blockbuster, but for, of course, a complete different budget. I have a direct link to the customer, and I can put whatever I want, when I want. The future, it's still linear.
Hello, welcome to a new episode of Stream Talks, and today we're talking with Jérome Kalfon, co-founder of Ace Entertainment. How are you doing?
Hello everyone, doing very well, and I'm very happy to be here with you.
Super exciting. So let's maybe start with talking a little bit about Ace Entertainment, your journey. You know, it's been since 2004, you guys have been around, and, you know, the industry has changed immensely since then. So it'd be great to tell us a little bit about your journey.
So, as you said, we founded with my co-partner, Sebastian, Ace in 2004. Both of us were not coming from the media world. We were all from the finance world. But we thought being in the media industry would be more exciting. So first we started as a true distributor, meaning we were buying movies, mainly from the US, selling them in French-speaking territories. Then we set up a company in the UK doing the same job because we could see that based on the market, we had to be able to offer more countries to different clients. Streamers were arriving, and we understood that our position would be stronger if we could offer other countries. Then the market changing again, we set up a company in the US where we started production, because a couple of years ago, we could notice like access to content seemed harder at the time. And since then, it switched so much that we have, I'm sure we'll be talking about it, but the volume of content available is enormous. So yeah, what was important for us, it was to control our content. So to be sure we secure content, so from distributors and from production, and then to develop our own distribution. Thus, now working with Rakuten for nearly 3 years.
Okay, that's really interesting. I want to kind of take a step back a minute because so much has happened, and you're right. The idea that content is everywhere for viewers. How would you say, as a content owner yourself, what are the things that you strive to do to kind of make you guys stand out and make your content portfolio kind of unique?
With the market that has been shifting from a linear market, so where we used to distribute cherry-picking movies to TV channels, and it moved to non-linear, so to a digital market, we had to step up in terms of volume. So today, Ace Entertainment is one of the biggest independent distributor in France, and we can offer to Rakuten and other digital services nearly 700 movies. So one thing where we stand out, it's the volume. So we can offer everything except French movies for different reasons. That's one thing, and as well we have been building relationship with producers for many years. So it's true that we have access to content quite early and at competitive prices because of that volume acquisition. So let's say these two are one of the advantages that we have.
That's super interesting, and I think very, very telling of kind of how the industry's changed over time. Can we maybe talk about, in general, what would you say, obviously in today's market, would be the main challenges for any kind of content owner, if you were to give a little bit of advice to the rest of the world?
Yeah, today the main challenge, I think, for us, it's the amount of content available. So we need to be sure that we pick up the right one at the right price. Because at the time when we were selling content to TV channels, we had pretty sure an idea of when buying a movie, we would license it, and at fees that are much higher than today. So again, in the past, it was cherry picking and assured returns, whereas today, returns are assured but spread over the years. So the return on investment is longer. So in terms of cash flow, this is what for the distributors, this is one important point. You need to be strong enough to be able to buy the content and wait for a few years, because it takes time with this new market now that is digital. So it's to manage well your cash, understand what's available on the market, and it's at the end of the day, it's always the same thing. It's to be sure that you have happy customers.
Okay, so you could say kind of less kind of immediately transactional, but more kind of long-term solution kind of investment.
Exactly.
We're talking now of today of streaming, of how people are viewing TV. With that, advertising has become quite prevalent in the streaming industry. And so I'm curious to understand not only how 𝗂𝗍 and yourselves handle monetization, but also just your thoughts on the different types of models. So AVOD, which would be quite popular on a lot of platforms, and then also FAST, which is a massively emerging kind of trend.
Yeah. So we started first with AVOD. We could see that FAST was coming, but we thought a couple of years ago it was not the right time. And we wanted to test the AVOD market first to see and to understand how it works. So we understand that we needed a large volume of content, that we had to be patient in terms of revenues. And then we could see the FAST going up. And because we step up our game and we've acquired a large volume of content, we could then launch our own channel. But we thought at the right time, because we knew that revenues on FAST channel is not there yet. There's a switch in advertising from linear to non-linear, but it's not there yet when it comes to FAST channels. But as well, we had to take positions because we think at some point, telcos or connected TV, they cannot offer a limited amount of FAST channels. So we thought as well, it need to be the right time to launch it in terms of what we could offer, just to make a difference. And today we have two FAST channels live, and a third one is coming in September. And they are niche channel. One is called Shark TV, and immediately you can understand what it's going to offer, and indirectly it's a brand. The next one that was launched yesterday on Samsung and is going to arrive in a month's time on Rakuten is called Dragon TV. So same thing, you understand what you're going to get. It's niche, but still it's commercial. It's quite large and appealing for enough people to watch them. But these are mid-term investments. At the moment, the return is not yet there. I mean, in terms of generating enough revenues to run a business. So we still need revenues from the linear that are getting smaller and smaller. But the digital market is, of course, exploding with SVOD that's been around for some time, and with the number of AVOD services that there are a few. So the revenue streams can help us as well in waiting for the FAST channel to really explode. And when you look at the US, I mean, it's incredible what's coming. So we know that, I mean, it's the market to be in. We need to be there. We have to be there. But what is very interesting, it's so linear channels are dying, but the future, it's still linear. The king died, but long live the king. So this is quite interesting. And so we're really pushing to be there.
I absolutely agree. And actually, for any of our listeners that are not aware of what a FAST channel is free ad-supported TV. The behavior of this is quite similar, actually, to a linear channel. You have programmed content continuously running with advertising breaks, similar to a kind of linear channel you would have. And I think it's quite interesting. You touched upon this about the kind of viewer behavior and audience behavior, and how this has changed over time. And so I'm curious to hear your opinion of you're diversifying your strategies, but how much have you had to adapt your business over the last 20 years in terms of looking at how the viewers are changing?
Constantly.
Yeah.
And we always try to anticipate. For example, we anticipated the arrival of SVOD. We developed an SVOD service with a French telecom operator, but that was before Netflix. And we had to educate the suppliers, so producers, distributors, to license this kind of content, because at the time it was very new. Then we could anticipate the arrival of AVOD, and then we understood, as we discussed, okay, we need to step up our game in terms of volume to be sure we can deliver enough. So we've always been trying to anticipate this market. Now we can see that, okay, the vertical drama is a big thing everyone is talking about, but how, as a distributor, I anticipate this? Will Rakuten TV at some point asking its suppliers to be able to supply this kind of content? Or it's just another format and I don't have to focus on it? It's just another format. For example, we used to have animation. We don't do animation, but we're doing well without it. There's documentaries. So we always try to, as of today, we don't know what's our position on vertical drama. We're studying it a lot. We thought maybe we should be launching an app but for different reasons we didn't do it, because what the changes we see as a distributor, it's in the past we had to go only through another business. So it would be a TV channel, and they would decide or not if they want our content. Or even with you guys, you're going to be the one deciding, I'm depending on you. Whereas today, with a fast channel, when I manage to get the spot, and if Samsung or you or other telcos are happy, I have a direct link to the customer, and I can put whatever I want when I want. Of course, I need to follow the guidelines of my agreement. And with YouTube as well, we have our own channels. So this is very new as a distributor, where I can decide when I want, what I want to put in. I have my own data to be able to analyze it and to say, okay, that's the way forward. So it's very interesting for us as a distributor, where now we have a direct link. And let's see in the future, it's going to be other means like this. But what we anticipate as well is we know that we're going to have more screens. Everyone hears about cars you won't have to drive cars anymore. So you're going to have more spare time, and you're going to have screens in those cars. So we will have content. It's still king, but so it's important to be there and to be able to anticipate and to find a new client that's going to be offering those services. So I would say for us, the future is really bright. And I mean, we could talk more. There is, of course, AI, which is in all over the place, and this is something that is changing our job, the way we manage a company, the way we produce content. I mean, for us, AI, it's if I'm going on other questions, I don't know, stop me, because
no, this is great. That was actually my question, would to be actually what's coming in the future, and AI is a big part of that.
And as a producer, and for any distributor, I mean, small guys like us, it's fantastic, because today we can produce movie that look like a US blockbuster, but for, of course, a complete different budget. So at the moment, we produce what we call hybrid content. So the old-fashioned way, you go on location and you have a cast, but as well with some AI. For some sequence that would be too expensive, we're using AI, for example. So this is very exciting. And of course, there is much more content coming that are full AI. And now very soon we're going to be distributing our first content, which is like produce 100% AI. Or, for example, we own IPs that are family movies, the live action family movies. Because of AI, we are transforming them into animated feature. So now we can offer, based on IPs we own, animation movies. So the technology that is available for small producers and independent distributors like us is incredible.
Great. I think that's really interesting. The way that, adapting to future technologies is super, super important to be able to kind of survive in this industry as well. Now I want to just close in with a few different questions for content. So now on ACE, what was your favorite film or piece of content that you guys have in your roster?
There's one that I like very much, which is not our core content because we offering commercial movies. It's an Estonian movie called Tangerine, and it's about a war that happened a couple of years ago, and about how two enemies, via a good fella, a good guy, is gonna understand each other, is gonna become friend, and one of the enemies gonna die for his past enemy. So I like this story of, as human being, if we talk to each other, we should live in peace. So this is a movie that was quite successful. He went to the Oscars, he won some Emmys, and it was produced by a very independent, small Estonian company. But the story that the movie was telling was universal, and I like that.
That's amazing. I'll add that to my list, actually. Sounds really interesting. And then in kind of general terms, favorite film and favorite movie quote as well.
A favorite movie is for many, many years, it's called Unforgiven. It's a Western from and with Clint Eastwood. And but that was produced in the 90s, so quite a long time ago. And the main message was how justice can be unfair. And when you're a young boy, a bit naive, it's a very unusual message. because you always been taught that fairness exists and justice is there to protect us, but unfortunately sometimes or too often justice is unfair, and I don't know, that movie touched me.
Oh, that's wonderful, actually. I wouldn't want to class the 90s as so long ago. That makes me feel horrific. But you're right. You're right. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a real pleasure, and hopefully we'll be able to speak again soon.
With pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And thank you also, listeners, for joining us today. We'll see you on another episode of Stream Talks.